So let's start day 11. Corporate policy. Santa's previous password expired, and he needs help choosing a new one. Given Santa's current password, what should his next password be? And our current password is this. Okay. It finds his new password by incrementing the old password string repeatedly until it is valid. And incrementing is just like counting numbers, except Z goes to A, and then X becomes Y because it carries. Increase the rightmost letter one step. If it was a Z, it wraps around to an A and repeats the next letter to the left until one doesn't wrap around. Unfortunately for Santa, a new security elf recently started and he has imposed some additional password requirements. Passwords must include one increasing straight of at least 3 letters. Passwords may not contain the letters I, O, or L, as these letters can be mistaken for other characters. And passwords must contain at least 2 different non-overlapping pairs of letters, like AA, BB, or ZZ. For example, this meets the first requirement. This meets the third requirement. So this has HIJ. This has BBFF, but fails the first requirement because there's no straight. This fails the third requirement because it has only one double letter. The next password after ABCDEFGH is ABCDFFAA, because this has a straight here and then 2 different pairs of characters. Next password after GHIJKLMN is GHJAABCC, because you eventually skip all the passwords that start with GHI, since I is not allowed. Let's start again using my usual workflow here, which I should improve. Day 11. Okay. I want to do an AOC this, and then just have it have the year and the version AOC 2015. I'll do that off stream. 15, and then oh no, we're on 11 now. Come on. Replace with 1. There we go. Oh, look at that. Huh. Okay. That was neat. I replaced it everywhere if I replace it there. That's interesting. All right, so now if we run, oops, I called it day 01. There we go. Okay, good. Well, this shouldn't be too bad. Let's write a test for this, because that's what we need, right? CFG test mod test, use super star, and what I'll do is I'll just create a validity function. Copy paste. This is invalid. So I should just be able to say assert not valid this string. And we'll just do that. And then what I can do is just write fn valid input with a string and bool, and then just return false, just for now, just to make sure we're all testing. We have 1 warning on our tests that we're not using input. Okay, let's get rid of the warning, and the tests pass. So we see that right up here. Okay, of course it passes because I have nothing valid right now. So let's just do them all here, right? Test is invalid. Not valid this. And then we have a test of this. is invalid, not valid of this. And then we actually have a passing one, right? This is a valid one. So this is going to be the first one that our test fails for. Fn this is valid. Assert bang valid this. Right? And now we have one fail. Okay. What's this? Oh, because we're not using valid. Okay. So, and then I'll also write an incrementer. Right? So we'll have a function that does valid, function does increment, and then we'll be done. And then we have this one. Next password after this. This is an invalid one. This is a valid one. So we can test both of these guys are valid. Fn this is valid. And then we should have two fails. Yep, two fails. Okay, so let's write a validity checker. So we can say has a straight is false, and pair count is 0. Right? And then the return value is going to be has a straight and pair count is greater than or equal to 2. That's going to be the validity check. And now we just need to set those as appropriate. How do we want to do this? So I guess let's look for a straight first. Oh, and we also have to check I, O, or L. But we can return immediately if it matches one of these guys, right? So we can say for C in input chars. We're going to have to save the previous one. Oh, should we just pull it out ahead of time? Is input chars. If we pull it out ahead of time, then we have it. Iter, next, unwrap. We're going to assume that there's at least one character, otherwise this is going to panic, right? If it matches one of the bad characters, it matches prev I or O or L, return false. So that's a short circuit there. And we have a pair count. Oh, and then we'll need a straight count. How long is our straight? So this is going to be an iter. Oh, and then we have to check again here, right? Right? Because now we're looking at the next one. This is a character, right? Yes. All right, so if our first one, which we're calling prev here, is equal to one of those, or the one we're looking at is equal to one of those, then we're going to return false. The next thing we need to do is check to see if we're in the middle of a straight. So if prev as U8 plus 1 is equal to C as U8, then we want a straight count plus equals 1. I guess we can start here. Let mod straight count equals 0. That's an off by 1 error, right? It has to start at 1 because we always have a straight of, at least a straight of 1, right? And this, if this increments, then we have at least a straight of 2. If it doesn't match, then we can check the straight count. If straight count is greater than or equal to 3, then it has a straight. And then if it doesn't match, we want to reset the straight count. And we could also check here and just if has straight, we can skip this whole mess. that might be over optimizing. And now we want to check pairs. So if prev is equal to, oh, but it can't be overlapping. So we can't just check the previous and the current. We actually have to check and then clear. Let mut pair is equal to prev, right? And then we can check here if pair is equal to C. Then we have a pair count plus equals 1. And then we want to clear pair. Clearing it means setting it to, I guess we can just set it to null, right? And then oh, but we have to set it for the next loop, else pair is equal to C. Will this run first try? Let's see if this run first try. Nope, we got 3 fails instead. Okay. Help remove this mut. Oh, yes. What I'm missing is I need to set prev equals C at the end of the loop. Now this should be valid, but it's coming up as invalid. So we can just print out println bound straight of straight count. And here we could say println found pair. And let's see what this says. It found a pair, but did not find a straight. Okay, so there's a bug here in the straight. That's interesting because the other one, yeah, because there's an ABC right here. This one worked because it found the straight and then it found 2 pairs. But here we have a straight in the middle of the pairs, which should be fine. That shouldn't be a problem. Oh, duh, right here. I set straight count to, I told you at the beginning. Every straight is at least 1 long. There we go. Okay, so now we can get rid of that, and we can get rid of that. So our tests pass. That's good news. And I wish I knew how to get this thing to, oh, I can just do that. Okay. I wish I knew how to get this thing to just filter specific tests. Like I just want to run the tests with this thing here. Maybe that's something we can add to Bacon. Okay, so now we got to write an incrementer. So incrementing shouldn't be too hard, right? Let's write a test for it. Fn can increment without carry. So we at least get that working, right? So assert eq, let's write an increment function. What should we call it? A, B, C, D, E. And that should increment to A, B, C, D, F. Right? And that'll fail because incr doesn't exist. So now we'll write incr. And again, we'll take an input with the string, and it's going to return. I just did this by default because it makes the testing easier, but I think I want to return a regular string because that's what I'm going to generate, right? So we want to start with our results. It's going to be empty, and then we want to go from the back to the front. For C in input chars rev, right? And then we get a train in the background. So we'll just say result push. We're just going to do this very simply without worrying about the carry for now. C as U8 plus 1. Oh, I have to make it as char, right? Like this, right? And then we just return it but it's backwards now, so we have to re-backwardsify it. Chars rev collect. Is that going to work? Of course not. Molt. There. We do have a failed test, so it's not working. BCD. Oh! And incremented the wrong thing. Did I forget the reverse? No, I got a reverse here. Oh, I'm doing this in reverse. Yeah. That's right. And then we're pushing at the end, so we have to reroute. Oh, I'm incrementing every single one. Oh. Duh. So I guess we just need to carry anyway, right? Equals 1, and we say C plus carry, and just set carry to 0, and keep going. Yeah, okay, so that passes. So now we have to figure out how to do it with the Z. So now let's write a test. A, B, C, D, Z should become A, B, C, E, Z, E, A. Right, because Z wraps down to A, and then we increment the D to an E. And this should fail. Oh, with carry. There. And we got A, B, C, D open squiggle, which is to be expected because we incremented past Z and we shouldn't have. All right, so that means now we have to check to say if carry equals 1. Oh, there's no reason to do that then, right? Because we're just increment it. We'll make this true. If carry, then we're going to say result push. Oh, if carry, then we're going to increment. But if C is equal to Z, then we want to push an A, result push A, and then leave carry as true. Otherwise, we're going to do this and increment by 1, and then set carry to false. Right? And like that. Otherwise, if carry is not true, then we're just going to push the character we got. Result push C. And okay, the test passes, and we have 3 warnings, probably because we're not using increment or valid. So now we need to use them. We're going to start with this. Let pass is equal to, let's say password is equal to string from this. And then we say while not valid password, password is equal to increment password. And then we're going to say create output. Given sent his current password, what should his next password be? Okay. We'll just output the password. And we have an error. Because we're not returning a vec string, because I keep putting that semicolon. All right, run. All right, so it's saying that it should be hep xxyzz. Okay. That's the right answer. Not bad. Okay. Just before we move on, let's commit these changes. Git commit. Day, 2015, day 11, part 1. That wasn't too bad. Let's see what part 2 is going to be. Continue to part 2. Epic Log says, petition to add the word rebackwardsify to the dictionary. Is that what I said? Did I use that word? Did I make that up? That's funny. Part 2 is Santa's password expired again. And what's the next one? Okay, that means we have to save it, right?
Let's do this. Part 1.
I got to make a better way to do this, because this is not the first time we've had to deal with this issue of saving part 1. Nope, where are we? So all I need to do is say self part 1 is password. Right, and then part 2, we do, it's basically the same code, right? While not valid, I say let not password equals self part 1. Oh, can I just use directly, or is it going to complain? Self part 1. Self. Oh yeah, because now I'm passing it in and setting it. Part 1 is equal to increment self part 1. It's going to complain, right? And then we just output it. We are changing it, which is annoying. Oh, that, and then this just is part 1 string from move occurs. Can I do that? Sort of. Okay. Oh, yeah, I need to increment it first. So I might as well just do this then, right? So let mod password is equal to increment self part 1. That way I don't change part 1. And I can just do that. Ooh, it's slow. There we go. That's the right answer. Not bad. Okay, so we actually did 3 days in one stream. I'm going to split this up for YouTube into 3 separate YouTube things, but that's okay. Actually, maybe 4, because the permutation thing is kind of neat on its own. Git commit -am 2015 day 11 part 2.